Hey folks, Micah McGee here. As you see right here, we've got two Mangalitsa shoulders. This pig was scalded and scraped, so the skin is still on. Matter of fact, I still even have the feet on, and for where I'm taking these, I should probably take the feet off because I'm cooking these as a roast together and taking them to our church potluck. Now, sometimes the people in our church get really fortunate and I bring something other than possum, coon, or groundhog. This time they're getting pretty fortunate because, as you know, Mangalitsa is a quality A1 grade A meat. So the first thing I did, I went over to my wife's herb bed where we have an amazing wintertime herb garden and got this rosemary. Now, this rosemary plant has been there 2 years. Right through the terrible ice storm last year, it just keeps on producing wonderful rosemary. And as you know, that is unbelievably good for meat. So I got some of that fresh rosemary. I'm gonna cut it up on here. I'm gonna use camp dog Cajun seasoning, and along with some other herbs and spices. I've got coriander. This says herbs and citrus seasoning. And of course, salt is always your base when you're doing something, a large roast. You need to use plenty of salt. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is get my roasting pan up here, and I'm gonna lay out a couple of good old heavy duty aluminum foil, and we'll get this thing going. All right, I'm gonna put some salt on the skin side. No seasoning, just salt. And I'm gonna lay him, I like plenty of salt. I don't like to go sparingly, especially on the bottom. I'm gonna put the skin down in this pan, and then I'm gonna go ahead and salt the top. Now, I realize it's not huge, so I'm not gonna just put unbelievable amounts of salt on it, but plenty. Now we're gonna take some good old camp dog seasoning, Cajun seasoning, and put that on there generous. Now this is gonna be the center of this roast. We're gonna have this one on top of it with the skin side up. The skin on top and bottom like that will protect this along with the foil. So I'm going to go ahead and throw salt on the meat side of this big one here. Rub it all in. Now there is a lot of fat on this under the skin. That fat's going to be cooking out all night long, and with it, it'll be drawing salt, taking salt out with it. So I got to put plenty of salt on this thing so that after that takes place, I'm not left with meat that don't taste salted. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my camp dog. Rub that in. Now I'm going to take these other ingredients and just throw some here and there on here. This would be herbs and citrus seasoning. Right here we got coriander. If I understand right, coriander is cilantro seed. I may be wrong about that. I know it don't really taste like cilantro at all to me. Drop down the comments and let me know, positive or negative. I don't know if I'm right or not. That just seems to be what I heard one time. And sometimes what I think I heard and what I heard is two different things, so let me know. Now we're gonna take some marjoram, I don't know how you say that. It's more of a coarse leafy herb. One thing about this pork, it likes herbs. Pork and herbs go hand in hand like a glove. I'm just gonna take this and flop it over like this. It seems like one shoulder's bigger than the other. That's just the way I cut it off the carcass. When I cut it off, I got more skin and fat on this one. We're gonna go over this with plenty of Cajun and everything else. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these fine little bone cutting scissors and I'm gonna cut these sprigs of rosemary right over top, just like this. As this cooks, it's just gonna cook all down in there. Woo! This is one of my favorite ways to cook because it's so simple. You just put your stuff in it, wrap it up, throw it in the oven, and leave it. This oven's gonna be roughly around 300 degrees all night long. I use a wood cook stove, so it's gonna fluctuate, but that's the beauty of it, it don't matter. It don't matter. Just wrap that up nice and tight. Throw the lid on it, in it goes. I'll see you in the morning and we'll test this out, see how good it is. All right, folks, guys, men and ladies, gentlemen, it is time to try this out. Oh man, I can smell that rosemary. When I opened the oven up this morning, it was sitting at a beautiful 225 degrees. That you could not ask for better. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna cut straight down in here. Very fat. A runt that had that much fat on it. I'm gonna cut a section. I'm gonna try to get that section out. That is so tender. All right, here we go. Now look at the section I cut out right out of the middle. This is basically what you consider the Boston butt of a big hog. Now, I'm gonna wrap this back up to conserve heat because we're going to take this to the church potluck. Now, let's get into this right here. Let's look at this. The fat, you're looking at about a ½ inch of fat. About, well, you see the meat concentration there. So I'm gonna cut this up. Now about 2/3 of my audience right now is turning their nose up at the fat. This will probably be my life experience for the rest of my life, people turning their nose up at the fat. Did you know this fat, since it was out in the sun, is concentrated with vitamin D, second only to cod liver oil. It is a vitamin D powerhouse. I have an entire video dedicated to that. And I just found out this morning through one of you that in Hungary there's a hospital that effectively treats its patients with a keto diet. It's called Paleo Medicinio or something like that. Medicinia. I looked it up. Absolutely the truth. They use a Mangalitsa diet of a 2-to-1 fat to meat ratio, which is unbelievable. Guineas! Those guineas. So anyway, we're gonna try it right quick. You don't have to be afraid of good saturated fats. All right, boys, reach in and help yourself. My mouth is watering so bad right now. Mmm. 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 Oh my goodness. Somebody finish that if you want it. Anybody want it? I'm talking about unbelievable, out of this world goodness. Guinea, hey! You only get one chance to hush them up. After that, it's over. That is the most amazing tasting food I've ever put in my mouth. I say, McGee, how did you get a runt? A runt to get that fat. Number one, it's a Mangalitsa. Number two, we gave it run of the farm and it could eat anything it wanted. It could choose its own diet. It ate all the acorns. It was in the process of eating all the hickory nuts. It could go in the cornfield and get, I have standing wheat in the cornfield and any corn that we missed, it could get. Hey, I highly recommend you making this simple, so easy feast. I mean, it's unbelievable how good it is. I want to thank Camp Dog for the seasoning. You can go get your very own for 15% off by simply using the promo code McGee if you go to the link in the comments. So that's all we've got for you today. We're going to get on out of here. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.